Hello friends and welcome to the Asana Lab series. Today we will be looking at downward facing dog, which is also called Adho Mukha Svanasana. So we'll be looking at bodily alignment. So how are we placing our hands, our feet, how are we grounding ourselves on our mats? We'll also be looking at our gaze. Where are we gazing? Where's our drishti? And also the pranayama that we'll be using. How is our breathing? Is it an inhale or is it an exhale, or is it just we're keeping it constant with an ujjayi breath? So, Adho Mukha Svanasana is a really great asana between a powerful sequence. So take a couple more breaths and stay in this position. It's amazing for releasing any tension in the hamstring and also opening the chest and really opening that upper back. So I'll be showing you the transition from two variations. So the tabletop, hands and knees on the mat, and also from Adho Mukha Svanasana, so upward facing dog as well. So let's start with our hands and knees on the mat. Tabletop position. This is a really nice time to get a feel of how your hands are grounding. So the knuckles, the bottom side of the knuckles, make sure they're rooted to your mat, okay? Your index finger is aligned with your arm, so your hands are slightly twisting upwards, and that's really going to help with the arm movement. So from this position, we're going to tuck our toes in, and we're going to, on an exhale, press into the mat with your curled toes and lift your hips up to the sky. And as you do so, you're also pressing with your hands back and releasing your chest to the mat. Now, if you have very tight hamstrings, it's okay to stay with your knees bent, and you could also bring your feet wider apart. Okay, but rule of thumb, you want your feet to be hip width length distance apart. And the distance between your hands and your feet are going to be the same distance that when you're in a plank position. So that can help you kind of figure out the distance, okay? So we're coming in to our downward facing dog. We're rooting into the mat with our hands. We're really bringing the chest to the mat, and now with the shoulders, so that we don't tense up our shoulders, and you see my neck is getting very constricted here and my shoulders are coming to touch my ears. We really want to create space into the neck. So we're going to be externally rotating our shoulders. And you should feel a nice elongation with the neck here as you do so. So to help you practice what my teacher has taught me, it's like if you're twisting, do this motion just seated as you're twisting a light bulb. So this is really going to help you get the motion of how are your shoulders externally rotating, okay, to create that space in the upper back and your neck. And then you could try it out on the mat. So coming back to downward facing dog, your heels are pressing into the mat, and you're really externally rotating those shoulders, getting them away from your ears. You're letting your head hang here, so your gaze could be to the back, or if you have a stronger neck, you could bring it in line with your hands, with your arms. So your gaze is down the mat. That's comfortable for your neck. You're rooting and extending with your hands. Feel the rootness, the grounding sensation with your feet and hands. You're pressing into the mat with the balls of your feet. You're engaging your feet and your hands. And your belly is naturally engaging as well. So you're lifting your belly into the spine to support your lower back here. When you breathe, your breath is an ujjayi breath. So you're making a soft ocean sound with the back of your throat. In and out through your nose. With every exhale, see how deep you can go in this position. Beautiful. So that was from tabletop. I'm going to show you one last version from upward facing dog. So for those who have a good strong lower back, feel free to take this upward facing dog variation. So the top of my feet are pressing into the mat, my thighs are lifted off the mat, my legs are engaged. Slight micro bend in my elbows here. My chest and sternum is pointing forward, my gaze is forward. And now I'm going to press into the mat with the top of my feet. And this could be a nice exercise as well to do. Okay? And if you want to transition now to downward facing dog, press into the mat by lifting your hips up and slowly untucking your toes and coming into downward facing dog. Making that as smooth as possible. Adjusting your alignment here and breathe. So take it to your own pace, take it to your own level, whether that's starting from a tabletop or from an upward facing dog. Practice, practice, practice. Meet yourself where you're at. Don't forget to breathe. And have fun with this one. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I'll see you next time.